Search marketing captures your customers at the perfect time when they are ready to buy. I'm Jamie Gorman, the host of Be Better at Business TV, and I'm here today with Scott Small, the CEO of Rev Builders Marketing, and we're here to discuss how search marketing can help you grow your business. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Jamie. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, listen, we have another question.
What is the best type of content to engage a user's sales process?
So, actually, that gets us into our next topic, I think.
Okay.
I know, and you talked about how complicated it can be to kind of get a whole campaign going. There's a lot of stuff there. But what are some basic tips and tricks, including, what type of content? What are some basic tips and techniques that any one of us can kind of go in as we're, building content, as we're writing blog? What are some of those things we can do just to kind of slowly increase our search engine optimization?
Well, in terms of content, I would become the master of writing incredible headlines.
Okay.
On your page, you need to have a top headline that is engaging and grabs attention quickly, and if possible, has the solution in the headline. Otherwise, the headline, Ogilvy, who's a great advertising master that those of us in the advertising world know, has stated that if you have 10 hours to write an ad, spend 9 hours writing the headline.
Okay.
And that's how important it is, because if you don't engage them with the headline,
right,
you're sunk. They don't go. The goal of the headline is to get them to read the first paragraph of your content and into your sales pitch. So if you blow it to start with, you're done. So in terms of content, become a master at writing great headlines. And then in content, describing what the problem is and how you solve it and why you're different than everybody else in solving that. If you can do that, then you're going to have a higher conversion rate on your page.
Right.
In terms of other little tricks, they're not necessarily tricks. They're
just
tips.
For content, that's actually one of the things when I coach people to start blogs, especially if they're professionals and they can do that, because in writing those blogs, they're automatically kind of adding those words into the content of their site. And so, that's a good reason to blog, is also to help your SEO, right?
Correct. Content is king or queen from whichever perspective you're coming from, but content is everything. So Google and the other search engines like to see, it's overstated in how much they like to see sites being freshened up, but they like to see activity happening on the site.
Great.
Another, blogs get indexed in minutes. So, really, especially if you're using WordPress or some RSS feed type of a thing that's indexing those, so your blog posts can index and start ranking very quickly.
Okay.
That doesn't happen with regular web pages.
Okay.
So, but other little tips on, you have a headline. If you can work your keyword into it, do so. If it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it.
Right.
If you have a picture, put a title tag on your picture. Put a description underneath of the picture.
Okay.
Those types of things are all searched by Google and help with the rankings of those various things.
And you don't need to be a coder to do that. If you're writing a blog in WordPress, when you insert your picture, it gives you boxes that let you put the title in and the description, and that's adding the content to the code or description. So you don't,
it's very simple to do.
Okay.
Anyone can do it.
And you can do that with links as well, correct?
You can do it with links as well too.
So put all those
links are a little more
descriptions
complicated and can't necessarily. You got to be careful on how you're linking.
Right.
Because there's follow links and no follow links. So depending on what you're trying to do, most websites are going to want to use a no follow link, because if you use a follow link, what you're doing is you're giving might get overly complicated, but it's link juice. So you're giving the link juice to the page that you're sending people to, which is taking it away from your page.
Okay.
So if you don't want to diffuse the power and trust of your page, you have to be careful of how many follow links you have sent out.
Okay.
It
can get a little complicated,
so
and we'll get a little bit more
too much for this, but
there we go. Well, what impact? Social media is big. There's a lot in social media marketing. I know you've done some research and done this, but what impact is social media having? Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus, especially YouTube is a video content channel. What impact are some of those having on the importance of search marketing?
The jury's still out on the exact impact of that. Because it's changing a lot. But in general, the impact of social, Google is tracking what I refer to as your social footprint.
All right.
So how many engagements do you have going on out there in terms of that are related to your business or your website?
Right.
And they are connecting those types of things. How much impact it's having on rankings in organic or those types of things is yet to be fully understood or determined,
Okay.
but it does have an impact. So your engagement, how many times things are liked, how many times things are shared. Google Plus has more impact than that, than
Right.
Facebook, you know, because Facebook and Google really, for all intents and purposes, hate each other.
Okay.
And don't play
Hate's such a strong word, but they are competitors, correct?
well, they dislike each other
Okay.
greatly. They don't play well in the same sandbox.
Right.
So there's an argument of how much Facebook actually is affecting
Okay.
organic due to that.
Okay.
So it depends, but social has a great impact on local businesses. You know, from a taking care of your customers kind of a standpoint, or
Right.
customer service, if you're using it correctly and keeping them engaged.
There's certainly separate benefits just
Right.
of using social marketing.
Yes.
And one of the things I've looked at and read, especially in the Google Plus, is that whole aspect of being in with blogging is you can now set up authorship so that
Right.
you can tie your blog to your Google Plus account, and then you can get your picture to come up when it does a search. And so, you know, that blogging aspect of things, again, comes back from a search perspective.
And it ties in. Plus, if you are actually logged in
Right.
to your Google Plus, when you're searching, your search results are going to drastically change. So
Okay.
it can change the whole ballgame. So when you are logged into your Google account,
Right.
the results are taking into account all your connections in your Google account and what they've been searching and what they've been liking, and Google's assuming that because your friends in Google Plus like this and
Okay.
did this and did that, you're going to like it too. So it totally changes the results based with that put into the algorithm, and it changes the results drastically, and you'll
Right.
get more local results if you're logged into Google Plus at the
That's-
time that you're searching. So
You know, that's interesting and kind of really an eye-opener. So if I go in and I'm signed into Google Plus and I type in search marketing for my business, if I'm signed in, it's probably more likely that you'll come up just because, you know, you're in my circles, that we have common connections, and possibly because I've been to your website before, those types of things. So by being signed in, it's going to track those things and use those. So, you know, when I look at it, I look at Google Plus, and it hasn't quite arrived as the big, you know, the big social media, but as soon as businesses start realizing that impact, they're going to start pushing a little bit more, I think.
it's a strategic move to get your customers to have a Google account Plus and then be in your circles, and then encourage them to be logged in, because
Right.
then when they do searches, it's a defensive move. It keeps
Okay.
all your competitors from coming up in the search, and
Okay.
only you're coming up. So they're not being tempted to price check or, you know,
Right,
am
right,
I
right.
really getting a great deal? And let me go see what someone else is doing. So
Good.
that'll become more prevalent down the road.
Right. So just to summarize, you know, we took the question on content. So definitely having the content up there, content that's keyword enriched, also blog content is kind of one tip that we can all use to just kind of get good content up. The second thing is, you know, make sure that when you're adding the pictures, you're adding the links, that you're filling in those descriptions and those titles with your keywords, and making sure that they're in there if that makes sense. The titles, making sure you have great headlines on the content helps, and then also promoting it and doing some integrated promotion, especially with social media, helps as well.
Most definitely, yes.
Great. For that, is there anything you'd like to share about Rev Builders Marketing and what you do?
Well, basically what we do, I mean, we're an integrated online marketing company. So what does that mean? Is that we integrate all various online media. So email marketing, social, search engine optimization, paid, and what I often say is whatever is new next week, online marketing. And we help you come up with a strategy to integrate those and work for you online to generate revenue and increase your return on investment, get you more exposure, or go after whatever it is that your particular goal is. And then we work with the offline advertising agencies to make sure that those two things are integrated, which is usually lacking, but extremely important, especially for local small businesses. Integrating the offline and online is critical and can increase your results by numbers you'd be amazed by. So that's basically what we do.
Okay, great. Just to close out, we're kind of out of time. So I'm Jamie Gorman. I'm the host of Be Better at Business TV, and I'm also the CEO of Sigma Business Management. We provide business and marketing plans. We provide business education and also meeting facilitation. And I want to thank you for being a part of Be Better at Business TV, and I hope that you can take this and use it to be better at business.